You're listening to Sideshow Network.
Hey, hi, how are you? I'm Jamie Flam, and I'm the artistic director of the Hollywood Improv. Basically, that means I'm the one responsible for booking comedians, producing shows, and making sure every night at the club is magical. You might even call me the gatekeeper. Okay, so not really, but maybe, I don't know. Outside of my job at the Improv, I also perform and write comedy, which means I sit in front of many gatekeepers myself. It's an interesting dynamic, but it's helped me learn a lot as well. Now I host a podcast about it. Each week, I talk with bookers, producers, decision makers, performers, and more.
Hey, this is Cole Stratton.
This is Janet Varney.
This is Troy Conrad.
This is Todd Glass, and you're listening to Gatekeeper.
It's an inside look at the art of saying yes and no. Also, there are sound effects. Be sure to subscribe to Gatekeeper on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can find more info at sideshownetwork.tv.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever here on the Sideshow Network. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence. And it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
And I'm Shawn.
And here we are again.
Yeah, we're doing this is one of our screaming episodes.
Laptop shouting
episodes. Stuff kind of got messed up this weekend for us a little bit. So we just didn't tape at our studio normally, so...
Yep. So here we are.
We're lazy.
We'll be back at it again next time.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
So you just have to deal with it, but that doesn't stop us.
Nope.
So I guess we should get into it. Or do we want to talk about movies for a second?
Oh, yay, movies.
Yeah, I don't want to spend a lot of time doing it, but you
Yeah.
know, we did see, in the interim between the episodes and everything, Suicide Squad came out.
Uh-huh. We saw Suicide Squad.
Saw that.
Uh-huh.
It was a stupid movie.
Yeah, I don't think I hated it as much as everybody else did, but probably because I do not have any skin in the Suicide Squad game.
Yeah. Same for me.
I don't typically give that much of a shit about any of the characters, so... Except Amanda Waller, who I love. But it was dumb. It was a mess. It wasn't as bad as people said. It was better than Batman v Superman, but I mean, staring at a blank wall is better than Batman v Superman. So that's not that hard.
Yeah.
But it was a disaster. I was just like... To me, like, the beginning of it, where it was like wall-to-wall music, was like Beyonce's Lemonade for dudes who love MMA. And then the second part was like a gritty, like, war movie. It just didn't, and then like for some reason Enchantress just danced through the whole thing. It like made no sense.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stuff in there that doesn't make any, like, plot wise, that doesn't make any sense, and just I don't know. I'm not gonna waste time.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was whatever. Go see it if you want to. I was not impressed by it. It was fine.
Yeah. Apparently, it is much worse off than anticipated, because you could tell that they're like, oh, we got to do a bunch of stuff to it because Beavis was so grim. Yeah. So they reshot a bunch of stuff, and then it just kind of meh.
Yeah. Well, I am not well versed enough in film, except as just a fan. But I was listening to the Comedy Film Nerds podcast when they were talking about it, and Chris Mancini, who's been on this show before, mentioned that you can actually tell at some points where they put those reshoots. And I didn't notice it, but he's a filmmaker, so I'm going to trust that he knows more than I do on it. You could probably... the lighting wasn't even the same sometimes.
Yeah, you could probably... To be honest, I kind of want to go back and kind of see that.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, I'll probably see it again, but...
Oh, I'm sure we will. But we're not going to see it in the theater again.
Yeah, no, it was a thing.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where I don't even know if I want to give DC my money anymore.
But you will.
Well, I want to see Wonder Woman, but I'm afraid because it was written by Zack Snyder.
It was written by a ham.
Just a sentient ham with like a pencil sticking out of it.
A tattooed ham.
So it was like a ham, like tied to a string with a pencil sticking out of it, and they just, like, went back and forth until some words formed.
It was a ham that had a bottle of Axe body spray in it.
Oh, it was marinated in Axe body spray?
A ham marinated in Axe body spray.
Covered in temporary tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody went to the store and bought a ham.
And just, Jared Leto's Joker is fucking bullshit. He was awful in every single scene he was in. He was so obviously Jared Leto pretending to be the Joker in every single scene he was in. Yeah. Even though he was only in the movie for like 8 minutes, every time he walked on screen, I wish to God somebody would punch him in the face. He was terrible.
You know, it didn't bother... the Joker didn't bother me as much because I already kind of knew...
it was Jared Leto.
Where it was coming.
Every single time I saw him, it wasn't like, oh, I could totally see, like, all this method really got him into the place. I was like, this is Jared Leto pretending to be the Joker. Yeah. That's all it is.
It didn't, honestly, I didn't feel I didn't feel that strongly against it. I didn't think it was as good as any other Jokers that we've seen. Like, if you were going to rank Jokers, in the DC universe, he's on the bottom of the list.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I don't think he was nearly as bad as Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Right.
But he was bad, and I will admit that every single time I saw him in the preview, I just rolled my eyes. Just because, like, the way he looked was stupid. Yeah. His clothes were stupid. The way he acted in the movie was stupid because, I'm sorry, the Joker is not in love with Harley Quinn. He's not. He can't love anybody except maybe Batman.
Yeah.
So, that was a huge problem for me, too.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in there, and I kind of want to go into it a little bit actually, but I don't because I'm really like, I don't want to waste my time.
Well, I mean, everybody's heard it. Yeah. It's just Suicide Squad, whatever. See it if you want to, but we'll see what the box office says after this weekend. Yeah, because they're saying it might drop, but we'll see what happens. Kind of like with Beavis.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead.
So
we also saw Superman 2 and Superman 3 last night.
Yes, we saw them at the New Beverly here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So they were on the big screen, and it was a double feature, and I had actually never seen Superman 3 before.
Yeah.
And I had never seen either one on the big screen.
I feel like I've seen all of the movies at one point when I was younger, but I haven't watched them critically or just for fun in a long, long time.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and it's weird because you think that I don't know. I feel like, given my fandom in comic books, I would have done that more sooner than later. But I don't know. I mean, Superman 2 is. I mean, they're both super campy. And
Superman 3 is a mess.
Superman 3 is an absolute mess.
It's a disaster. It doesn't make any sense. But
to be honest, Superman 4 seems tame in comparison to Superman 3.
It really does, actually.
Because I did see Superman 4 recently.
We saw that on Amazon. Amazon Video, you can see that. But, I will say, though, that seeing them on the big screen was really fun.
Oh, no, it was great. I mean, the New Beverly is just a fantastic place to see a movie.
Yeah, it really is. And they play all those old movies, usually 35 millimeter, sometimes 16, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do a pretty good job of just, I don't know, setting the right mood, and they had great programs that we ended up getting for it, and it's a really great place to go. So if you're ever in Hollywood, go to the New Beverly and just see something.
Yeah, but these movies are, oh man, there's so much weirdness.
Oh yeah, there's just, I mean, it is of its time. It really is of its time. I mean, but the one thing that
There's a lot of Superman being a dick.
Well,
there's also people thinking Superman is a dick.
Yeah.
And just kind of like, you suck, Superman, and he comes back and he's like, I don't suck that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it really is. It's a startling comparison when you watch Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
As Superman and Clark Kent, and then you put him up against somebody, our modern Superman like Henry Cavill, who I think does a fine job. I mean, he's fine. He's not objectionable. But Reeves Kent is an actual character.
Yeah.
And Superman is an actual character.
Yeah.
When you watch Henry Cavill,
Oh yeah,
He's
they're one
no
and the same.
difference. He's just wearing glasses and squinting at a TV.
He's watching a lot of TV, and he's like right about sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's obvious character choices and traits and things when you watch both of them. And
yeah, Christopher Reeve is so good.
he was great.
He
was perfect for that role.
It's just really a shame that he's not around. What happened to him, and just, it's a shame that he's not around today to have some sort of influence.
Yeah. He was on Smallville for a time. He did do a little role on Smallville as like Clark's teacher or something.
Right, but I'm saying, if he wasn't injured, if he was, if he was of good health and stuff, and if he was consulting with all the Superman stuff, I feel like maybe the performances and stuff would be a little bit different. The atmosphere might be a little bit different of these movies. I just feel like with him around, people have been like, oh, you know what, maybe we should do it this way.
Or we should at least talk to this guy about it.
Talk to this guy, because he is the ultimate.
Yeah, he really was.
Especially Superman 2. It's
he was great.
Although Superman 3, I like Christopher Reeves with a 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh yeah, I will be honest. I love any story about Superman on Red K because it is hilariously funny. To me, I find it hilarious because it's like he's an asshole. He's trying to sleep with everybody. He's a drunk. I'm like, it's funny as shit. I love it. I love it.
It's great.
But the problem with Superman 3 is it was like 8 stories put together, and like by the time we got to the end of it, I'm like, oh, that's right. There was a part in this movie where he was on Red K. Yeah. That has no impact in what just happened in the
now
rest
he's fighting
of
on
this
the computer,
movie.
and then
now there's a big computer, and Richard Pryor literally has no point in this movie.
Yeah,
it could have been the evil guy's sister who was like the hacking mastermind. There's no
because you do all the computer shit anyways.
Right, I'm like, there's no reason.
What do you need? Because literally he shows up and he's like,
is that what you need, Richard Pryor?
I know he shows up and
wear a crazy cowboy hat.
At the end, he shows up and he's like, hey, I'm here for my computer, and they're like, get lost.
Right, he's like, let me throw a rock at a donkey, and then that's pretty much all he does. Like, there was no point for him to be in that movie, and like, then there was just like Superman or Clark in Smallville hanging out with Lana.
Yeah,
and like
Smallville's got a.
Yeah,
Smallville's not a good place.
No, there was Richard Pryor skiing off the side of a 85-story building and living.
Yes, there's a lot of things in that movie that are.
It's a fucking disaster.
Although I will have to say about Superman 2.
Yeah.
About the Bill Cosby theory.
Oh yeah, I really wish I could get a screen cap because I am 99% certain that was Bill Cosby.
Yeah, there's a picture. There's a scene.
In Perry's office.
It's like outside of Perry's office. It's like on the wall outside of Perry's office, and there's a scene where they're talking, and you can see the outside wall of Perry's office, and there's just a framed picture of Bill Cosby.
But it's like a super close-up of his face?
Well, yeah, it's like a super headshot of his face.
But he's not smiling.
He's not really smiling, and it's just on the wall.
Yeah.
And then I'll make this comparison
this
because
is our theory.
Because he's because Bill Cosby's a fucking monster.
Uh-huh.
So he's awful.
Yep.
But there's this the scene at the end where Lois gets mind wiped by Clark.
Yep.
Because she after he kisses her, and I feel like maybe a
subtle, very very subtle shout out.
It's a subtle shout out to Cosby.
I don't know if it was a shout out or if it was just kind of like we're gonna put this in here so people know.
So people know, or not shout out, but kind of like, hey, remember that Cosby picture from earlier? Watch out for this guy in 30 years, okay?
Right. Yeah.
You guys are in trouble.
He's been raping for decades.
He's being.
And he will continue to rape for decades.
Guys, Bill Cosby is bad.
Yeah.
Just a subtle thing that Richard Lester was like, you know what? We're gonna take it to Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this in here and see if anybody notices.
But we did.
We did. And the other thing that was weird about that too is because they break up, but you never see them break up. You never hear them talk about it. It's just like all of a sudden Superman and Lois are broken up, so the next day she's sad and Clark has to kiss her to make her forget.
Right.
And you're like, what? Like, why? Why? What?
I also like the scenes in Niagara Falls because it reminds me of growing up in Western New York and being in Buffalo and going to Niagara Falls, and I was like, oh, hey, that might be my grandma.
I also like that a lot of those scenes in Niagara Falls, I'm like, everything kind of looks the same.
Oh, it looks the same.
It looks exactly the same.
I think all that shit, everything that's set up the way it is still the same.
Yeah.
because Niagara Falls is like just an eternal like piece. Like there's like they've maybe it's a bit different now.
Well,
maybe
I mean, like,
I don't
even
know. I
like
haven't
the
been there in
shrubbery
years.
and stuff. I was like, that looks
Because it's
like,
as you remember it. Yeah.
it's what I remember from when we went
Yeah.
on the Canadian side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was probably on the American side.
We were on the Canadian side, so were they, because they were on the horseshoe.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because there was the flag and stuff too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, filming in Canada.
Well, because that's the nicer side.
Yeah, you don't want to play. You don't. You look. I know.
No,
there's-
I mean like just visually, if you're looking at Niagara Falls, the
Yeah.
Canadian side is nicer from that big horseshoe
Niagara
versus
Falls.
that kind of small section on the American
Yeah,
side.
no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, Niagara. And also, guys, let's just I'm not
Niagara
gonna-
Falls is not a great place.
Niagara Falls, USA is a little. It's a rough town. So I've been there and I got a lot of friends there. But there's a it is not a secret that Niagara Falls on the American side is a rough place.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy.
It's a little sketchy, but So that
yeah.
was those were our movies.
Yeah,
Those are
it
movie
was fun.
reviews. Yeah, that was a good time.
But I definitely recommend if you ever get the chance to see any of those Superman movies. I wish we'd been able to see the first one.
we can still see it.
Well, I know, but I mean like on the big screen
Yeah.
because that was fun.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
I would love to see Batman and Batman Returns on there. Too.
I know. I really want them to do that one.
Actually, I'd like to see all the Batman movies up on there again.
Yeah.
Just go see all that shit.
Absolutely, I think it would be so much fun.
Do double features. 2 double features. Do those two, and then do the Schumacher ones the next night.
Yup, I'd watch those.
I
do, and I know I
that would sell out too.
Oh, I would absolutely I'd have to see the first and the second one. And I will admit that I have a very special place in my heart for Batman Forever.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's terrible, but I have a very special place in my heart for it.
I always get Batman Forever and Batman and Robin mixed up.
Batman and Robin is the one with
It was Alicia Silverstone.
yes, and George Clooney.
And George Clooney. And Mr.
Arnold
Freeze.
Schwarzenegger. Yes, the whole thing. That
Freeze
one.
and
then,
Ivy.
And Ivy, and then there's also
And Batman Forever.
Yes, Batman Forever is the one with Nicole Kidman
And Riddler and Two-Face.
and Riddler and Two-Face and all that.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Batman, he ties into our first book for the show, the DC book. We are going to be doing The Huntress, Volume 1, from the Huntress Volume 1, Volume 1, number 18, from September 1990. It is suggested for mature readers, so we are not allowed to read this.
No, we are not.
But so basically, this is the Huntress's first ever ongoing, and it says on here it's in the middle of a story
Miniseries.
a little miniseries involved here. The Days of Rage, just Days of Rage, Part 2
Oh, shit.
on the cover, and we got Batman in the foreground.
Very square Batman, though.
Very
Can we
square.
talk about that square jaw?
Oh yeah,
Oh my.
it is
You can cut glass with that thing.
uber square. Like it is not.
It's literally a 90-degree angle.
I didn't. You should get that checked out.
You really should.
I mean, I know
I
that.
don't think your face is supposed to be that angular.
Yeah, I think he needs to get some help.
That may be broken.
Yeah. And in the background we got Huntress, who looks awful.
Yeah, she does. She looks like a low-rent Susie Sue from Susie and the Banshees.
There's the thing. I think this is like this for the whole run of this.
Yeah, the
period where
artwork in this is awful.
she looked
Sorry.
Joey. I think it's is it
Again,
Joe?
I am not an artist.
Joe
but
Staten.
It's not my style.
Who's done a lot of stuff that I've heard of that I probably have appreciated, but yeah, I mean, just the Huntress just looks like she's got like this crazy 80s hair. She looks like Robert Smith,
Susie Sue.
Susie Sue.
Yeah, she really does. She looks like some low-rent goth chick.
There's some weird shading on her legs.
Yeah, so she kind of looks like she forgot to shave below the
she
knee.
got the shaver
It's
below
all
her right knee.
stubble on that side.
Oh, she got some stubbly thighs.
So she got some stubbly armpits.
Oh, she got stubble everything.
Batman's got stubble up on his cheeks. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. He's got
he really needs to check that shit out.
He's got some problems with his.
He's got face problems.
Everybody's got face problems.
Yeah.
So, Part 2, Days of Rage. The title of the story is called Rage Under Pressure.
Uh-huh.
And basically, this is following up from the first part of this issue. Basically, there's a... so I actually did a little bit of research.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
So basically, we're coming into it. There's a guy in Gotham. There's like this... Basically, there's this drug lord called Rage, who we get to know in this issue. And he makes his way from Gotham to New York City, which apparently this is where... I guess Huntress...
Yes. This is Helena Bertinelli.
Helena Bertinelli. Well, how many Huntresses are there? I mean, there's a few, but I mean,
There's Helena Bertinelli Huntress. Though this one is
there Valerie Bertinelli?
No. There was Helena Wayne.
Oh, Helena Wayne. I'm sorry.
Helena.
But
Yeah.
this is post-crisis, so it's Helena Bertinelli.
This is exactly
right.
Yeah.
There's also the Huntress that originally was Cheetah way back in the Golden Age, but we're not talking about her.
Yeah.
But so basically, there's this drug lord. He came over to take over, tend to some business in New York City. Batman follows him, and Huntress is not happy about it.
Nope.
Because he's there, and we see Batman doing his...
Batman's doing his thing.
Standing on a rooftop with his big flowy cape.
It kind of looks like, again, right angle.
Yeah, which I don't know how nobody's noticed that, because he's looking down at a bunch of gang members.
I know,
or something.
and his cape is so humongous and billowy. Like, I don't know how you couldn't see.
Like, how do you
him.
not see this jerk up here? I don't know.
So he's like looking down, and like there's narration boxing, and so he's like gonna go get he's gonna swing over and check out what's going on, but Huntress snares him by the foot.
Yeah, Huntress gets involved in here, and she shows up with her gigantic hair.
Yeah, oh my god, her hair's just like a cloud.
And her, just weirdly shaded legs, and she's just like...
Oh, she's even got butt stubble.
Oh, yeah, she got butt stubble. There's just a lot, the shadowing...
It's a really weird
It's
shadowing.
a little, it's weird.
It's like, it's not just shadowing, it's like little tiny pock marks. That's why it looks like stubble. It's like little dots.
Yeah. Is New York City like light on razors or something? Like,
yeah, there's a shortage. She is Italian. She is my people. So sometimes you gotta shave more often than the regular lady.
Apparently so.
When you've got that Mediterranean blood.
But she just looks. Oh god, she just looks so strung out and I don't want to say trashy, but
it's a weird.
It just looks so weird.
She doesn't look good.
Yeah, she doesn't look good.
Neither does he. He looks terrible.
Yeah, everybody's
it's hard to, it's the cowl, so it's hard to fuck it up, but yeah, everybody looks bad in this issue. Everybody. Even Rage shows up later, and he looks, I don't know what's wrong with his face.
Everybody here looks weird.
Yeah, so she snags Batman and pulls Batman back up to the roof, and she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, I can't have you sneaking around, because the minute you stick your stupid cowled face in here, this little tenuous piece that all these gangs have is just going to fall apart. Yeah. And people are going to die. Innocent people are going to die. So you need to get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And that's basically their conversation.
Yeah, basically, and this goes on for a bunch, and he's just... It does. And they're just...
And Batman's like, no, we can't have a war between us either, and don't you understand that, like, the only reason they have a peace is because they're trying to find this mad bomber guy, and as soon as they find this...
Because it starts off with there's a bomber that has been
blowing up
drug lords, and
as soon as they find him...
As soon as they find, trying to figure this out and find him, maybe they could let because Batman believes if they find this bomber guy, then the peace will be tentative again amongst the drug lords, and he's like, well, but I can also... I think he also wants to nab Rage, because he followed Rage.
Yeah, he wants to... Because Rage is, like, basically, like, the kingpin of this whole, like, drug operation, and they're pushing the drugs all over all these kids, and, Batman wants to team up with Huntress so they can take him down and get the drugs out of the city. Right? Because if not, it's going to be basically an open-air drug market.
Yeah.
So then we have some more narration boxing from this kid.
So this kid,
I forget his name.
His name's Joey?
Sure. He wears glasses and he looks like crap too.
Yeah, his last name is Cooper. Yeah, so I think...
whatever. Kid.
Yeah, Cooper.
Sure. So there's this kid, and he's like watching all these drug dealers dealing drugs.
Yeah. And apparently, so his family was killed in these drug dealer deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's kind of vengeful.
Yeah.
He's very vengeful right now.
Yeah, and he's like watching Rage walk by. Rage with his oblong head and his, what would you call that, a bullet? Because he's like, either that or he's got like an intense 5 head.
Well, he looks kind of
bald.
He kind of looks like Carrot Top.
Yeah, he does, actually.
He actually looks like Larry Fine from the Three Stooges.
Yeah. And he's wearing like a red thing with like a skull on it.
Yeah, he's got like a Wonder Man coat with a skull on it.
Yeah, he does. It's like a trench coat though.
Yeah, he's dressed up here. He's the man in charge.
Yeah.
So basically he's
like taking drugs into the city via barge, and the cops can't stop them, and this kid doesn't like it because his parents died, blah, blah.
He's like, just making a big drug mall, he says. I'm like, oh man,
like,
is that anything like Lady Mall?
Yes, it's exactly like Lady Mall, except less fun.
This Lady Mall's not that fun, guys.
There's not as many Orange Juliuses in this drug mall.
Orange Julias.
That's right, Orange Julia. Or Annie's Pretzels in this drug mall. So a bunch of guys come to like drop off drugs or whatever, and he's like, I parked in a loading zone in front of a fire hydrant. And this one guy's like, man, I never saw a fire hydrant there before. Kaboom! It explodes.
Well, I think it's funny because he's like, you know what? I don't want to get stopped by a cop.
Well, because he's got drugs.
Well, but he's like, I mean, I guess,
Yeah, he doesn't want the cop to be like, I'm going to search your vehicle or whatever.
So here's the thing, though. So he didn't notice his fire hydrant.
It looks like he pets it.
He does pet, yeah. It looks like he pets it.
He's like, oh, nice hydrant.
But does he hit it? Does he hit it so it looks like it's fake? Is that what he kind of notices here?
I think maybe that. Well, he's just like, it hasn't been here before.
Right, and he kind of moves it.
And he kind of touches it.
It looks like he moves it.
Yeah, I think that's what he does.
Because you shouldn't be able to do that with the fire hydrant.
He pets it. Good fire hydrant.
That's very astute, because I don't notice fire hydrants at all if I'm not trying to park in front of them.
Well, I mean, if you go there all the time, you might notice, like, oh, there's not a fire hydrant here.
Yeah.
Like, I usually park at this spot. Why is there a fire hydrant?
So there's a big explosion, people get blown up, and then there's like, it's weird because it just jumps right to somebody from from Rage's gang accosting some guy who wait a minute. So is he in the Daggers? I'm confused.
Yeah, that's the thing. I guess whoever he's been talking to is in a different gang. And so they find that out.
He's like, goddamn Daggers can't be trusted, but they're wearing the same logo that he's ripping off of this guy's jacket.
Well, I think that's what he's saying. He's like, you shouldn't be wearing this because you're not one of our boys or whatever. I guess. Like, I don't exactly know. None of this really makes sense. I'm not sure who they're attacking or why.
Well, they're attacking somebody that they think is a bomber, because the bombers think...
Yeah.
I wish I knew what the name of this group was.
Yeah,
gang warfare, so...
And it's like Red Blood or some shit that Rage heads up. I can't remember what it's called, but... So he's like, oh...
But why does their logo look the same? Because this is Rage here. He's wearing the same logo
that's they're ripping it off, because that guy is not part of the gang.
But that's not the Daggers?
That's whatever logo... I think it's the Blood Reds or something,
Okay, so that's right, Blood Reds.
It has a big fucking dagger on it. You'd think it would be the dagger.
No, that's right, the Blood Reds. That's the name of the group, because they're like later. They're like, yeah, Blood Reds. We're our deal.
Right.
So Rage shows up.
Yeah. So,
for a guy named Rage, he looks like he's sleeping half the time.
He does. His eyes are always closed.
His eyes are closed. He looks very he's not very angry. I mean, other than
he's just like, you fucked me over, bro. I'm not happy about that. Obviously, this is my turf, so I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you, and he does.
Yeah.
Because, he's a gang guy, and that's what gang guys do.
Gang warfares.
So
he's in the Blood Red.
Blood Reds.
Yeah, he's in the Blood Reds.
Gives him a pep talk, basically.
But what? Oh, God.
I don't really understand about what. He's like, we're great.
So is he posing as a Blood Red?
No, Rage is a Blood Red.
No, this guy posing as a Blood Red?
That's what I think. Like I said,
and that's why he's ripping it off, but at the same time, like, well, how do you know he's a Dagger?
I have no idea.
Granted, you probably know who's in your gang and not, because
I guess. It seems like there's a lot of people in that gang. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like 1 million people.
A lot of guys.
It's like the Warriors.
Yeah. It's like the NWO.
It's the NWO. It's the NWO of New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like everybody, and then like every.
Oh,
single
everybody joined the NWO.
Well, that's the thing. Eventually, it's just the entire roster.
Then they eventually they split it up. They started it again. It sucked.
And that's what the blood red rage guys are.
Yeah.
Just basically the NWO. So I'm surprised they're kicking that guy out.
Nobody leaves the NWO. It's like the Big Show.
Yeah.
You got kicked out of the NWO like 30 times.
Oh yeah. Well, so that guy can come back. That'll be fine.
If he's a Big Show, yeah, he'll turn.
This is basically wrestling. They kick him out, they beat him up, and then they cut a promo, and then next week that guy will join again.
Yeah.
Next issue.
So Batman and Huntress are in canvas checking out the explosion scene.
I like this scene. This scene's stupid.
Oh, why? Because Batman's doing science.
Batman does science, and he talks to himself for like 6 panels, and the Huntress, I think, just tunes out.
She's like, I'm out of here.
Mentally, anyway. So, like, they go to the explosion, and she's like, I can't believe you're out in the open. He's like, no one's coming back here.
No one's coming back here, even though people could drive by and be like, hey it's Batman and Huntress.
So he's like, oh,
and he's doing science.
Yeah, and he's like looking at like some, like whatever the bomb was made of through like I don't know, binoculars or something. I don't know what he's doing.
Oh, that's right. He does talk this entire time.
He's talking this entire. He does not shut up this entire time.
I thought there was some back and forth here.
Oh, no.
That's right.
Huntress doesn't say anything until maybe here.
No, that's not even her line. He talks. He just goes, I don't know.
If you go back,
her last
line is, yes, sir, and then he does not stop talking.
Because he's like, hey, give me that sample, because I'm the sample from the first bombing, I think.
Yeah.
And he's like, sure.
She's like, yeah.
And then she just sits there and he goes, okay, so it must be Putty from a kid's toy. So we have to decide who this is. It could be this kind of person. It could be this kind of person. It could be an actual kid. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be a really smart kid. I don't know.
Could be a poor kid. Could be a rich kid.
Could be a prisoner. Could be a homeless veteran. Could be like
Could be a homeless veteran. Could be Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Could be maybe it's Matt. Maybe it's Matthew LeBlanc. Maybe it's that guy who works at the bodega over on 10th Street who sells the crab chips I like. It could be that guy. Maybe he's
guy who always gets my Dunkin' Donuts coffee order wrong. I bet it's that guy.
Don't they sell putty over there in the Dunkin' Donuts? Yeah, I think they do. I thought I saw it on the counter
at the bodega. They got the putty. So
the putty.
I bet it's that guy.
Because they got the putty and they got those action figures that nobody wants to buy. They're like the cheap ones. They sell them there. I haven't told anybody about that yet because I don't think you're supposed to be selling those. But I got bigger things to do right now. I got to figure out this bomb. And
it's like counterfeiters are kind of low on my list. I go up to the drug dealers
the whole time.
One of these days, as I clean up Gotham, I will get to them.
That's like bot. That's like number 200.
Yeah,
on my list.
Not super important yet, but so maybe it was this kid, or maybe it was that guy. So
and the whole time Huntress is sitting there on her phone.
Yeah,
if this was not 1990, if this was 2016, she would just be on her phone the whole time, posted on Facebook, being like,
going through Instagram.
She be doing like Instagram stories, being like, and just being like,
he's still talking.
He's still talking. LOL. Actually, I would follow the Instagram account of bored superheroes like listen to Batman talk.
I don't think Batman gets this much dialogue in his own books.
Yeah, no kidding.
He just does not shut up for an entire page, and then he's like, "Oh, so it's a kid. Do you know any smart kids?"
Smart kids like,
and like
Alex P. Keaton. We're in the 90s, right? Oh no, that's already up there. Doogie Howser. Let's go arrest Doogie Howser.
This was obviously Doogie Howser.
Clearly, Doogie Howser has been blowing up fire hydrants in gang-related areas.
Of course. Why wouldn't he be? And then the Huntress has to explain to Batman that Doogie Howser is fake. And Batman gets all sad. He was really, really he loves the idea of
because he's like, well, my doctor's is Doogie Howser, isn't he? He's the one that tells me, it's like, maybe you should get a better doctor.
Maybe you should stop just, enlisting children to do your dirty work.
Maybe you should stop hiring teenagers
to hang out with you.
To hang out with you and tell you things, and to pretend and help you out with, science and shit.
Batman is basically a less creepy Michael Jackson. He's just, a really, really rich guy who just hangs out with young boys. Because he's just like, I need friends. Let's get some kids in here. But I'm not going to touch them or give them Jesus juice. I'm just going to, like, make them work out in small shorts.
I'm gonna make them work out in small shorts, give them occasionally, give them some dinner,
Yeah, give them some dinner. And put their lives in danger every single day. And scar them terribly.
Every day.
Literally every day.
Literally every day.
And if they die, I just...
Even on the days that nothing's happening, I wake Dick up, I throw a grenade at him.
That's how it goes. If he's smart enough, he'll figure it out. And if not, well, then he should have died with his parents.
Oh, God. Anyways, so that's funny, because then it just cuts to, like, another night. Actually, real quick, I want to call attention to this Superman ad.
Yes.
I kind of want to read these stories.
Was Superman mad as hell?
Superman's
possessive.
Yeah, Superman is mad as hell because Jimmy Olsen and Jerry White's souls are up for grabs, and it's got this picture of Superman coming out of like a pool of fiery
oil?
water.
I'm gonna guess oil.
Oil or fiery water, and
his hair is curled, so he has tiny little horns.
He has tiny little horns, and he is mad as hell. And apparently, in Action Comics and Superman and Adventures of Superman, everything is on fire.
Yeah,
including this one where Superman has a beard that is also on fire.
Yeah,
it is. I kind of want to read these.
Maybe one day we'll find them.
We might have to track these down.
It tells you a number.
I know. I'm gonna look this up. Soul Search. Is that like Star Search, but like?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so
Huntress is like, hey, I happen to know one smart kid. Let's take a look at him. By the way, his parents died.
There she is again, looking horrible.
She looks terrible.
The shading on this is just doing nobody any favors,
it's really
especially her.
bad.
She just looks like she's like a Dickensian superhero.
Yeah,
because she's got soot all over her face.
Yeah, she's a chimney sweep by day.
She's a Huntress, chimney sweep.
Clean your chimney, governor.
He's like, even funny. She's like, go clean a chimney, Huntress. I got this.
I got this. All right. That's my terrible accent.
Yeah, I'm not doing accents.
Okay, good call. So she's like, yeah, I think do you really think that he would do this because his family died? And Batman's like, I am very familiar with the psychological profile.
I want to point something out here. So she is
besides the face the fact that it looks like her mask melted to her face.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's like, he's like Batman's okay. So he's like, okay, we gotta track down this kid.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I called the social worker and blah blah blah. And he's like, he escaped just about, he's about to introduce to foster parents. And she's like, and if you told me the death was true. And then she starts like questioning him. She's like, are you sure he'll return? To the scene his family killed? And he just tells her to shut up.
Basically.
He tells her, he's like, look, I understand. Well, let's just say I know this. And it's like, shut up. We can't be talking.
Listen to me on Batman.
But listen to me. But I literally...
I'll talk at you. But don't you ask me any questions.
But don't talk because they might be able to hear us. I can't concentrate if you're talking to me.
He's mansplaining. He's doing what Leonardo DiCaprio does when he has sex with models, and it's wear noise-canceling headphones.
Wait.
That's
does models actually wear noise-canceling headphones when he has sex?
Leo does.
Oh, Leo does.
Apparently, this is the rumor that whenever he is having the sex with one of his many models, he wears noise-canceling headphones.
But are they talking the whole time? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Where did you hear this rumor?
I read it online.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
But is he someone suing? Okay.
It was in like some... it was reported on a bunch of blogs, but it was like eventually it was in some sort of like People magazine or In Touch, or it wasn't People, it was In Touch or Star, one of those trashy ones. That's the rumor.
I would love a cover story of People magazine being like, Leo wears noise-canceling headphones while fucking.
Stars just like us.
Stars just like us. It's just.
I need total silence when boning.
I'm trying to figure out the physics of that. Because
just putting them on?
Well, no. I mean, if he's got the big headphones on, so if he's like, first of all, because I kind of know. Look, if he's a missionary, and he's
what if he's always on the bottom?
He might be on the bottom, or he might be doing doggy style. So he's probably not really trying, because he's probably like watching TV.
I am certain he is not very good in bed, because he's one of those really attractive guys who's never had to try. So you know he's terrible.
Yeah.
So he's just like, I'm hot, I'm gonna get pussy anyway, it doesn't matter. So he like never honed his skills.
Because what if he's like...
So he probably just like sits there and like listens to whale music? I don't know. What do you
Whales? Is he fucking just like...
It's like, yeah, that totally gets me off, bro.
I can't get hard if I don't hear whales.
He's like, high five, Tobey Maguire, fellow Pussy Posse member.
This is Tobey Maguire making whale noises into a microphone in a soundproof booth while live whale noises while Leo has sex. He's like,
that's exactly what
he's like, Toby, I'm gonna go bang this chick. Let's go.
So Tobey Maguire just goes into like a
get in the
sound
booth.
studio.
Get in the booth. He's like, all right.
I think actually he probably also has one of those bumper stickers from The Simpsons that says I'm going to the aquarium or whatever Troy McClure used to have on his thing.
This is you know what? This is a new revelation. Of things that of thoughts I can have. Because I'm trying to figure out first of all too, is like because you probably can't be doing missionary because if I know anything about headphones from my head, that they don't really stay on if you move your head.
Well, I think he's probably got those like big can ones.
But it doesn't. But they still could fall off. He probably needs a chin strap.
What is it, like a sleep apnea machine now? He just like
No, but just for his head. It looks like one of those those amateur wrestling outfits.
Okay.
So he looks like Rick Steiner when he fucks.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
I guess. I bet he vapes too.
But then, like, so okay, wow. But also, too, he would be great if he started endorsing Bose headphones.
He really should. He should be like
for noise canceling headphones.
Yeah,
it's like when I'm fucking.
All the noises.
When I'm with the ladies and I want to hear them, those headphones keep the noise out.
Because the worst thing to hear when you're having sex is that your partner is also enjoying herself.
Oh, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't hear a thing.
Oh, he doesn't care. He's just like, oh man, I just need to listen to these Tobey Maguire whale noises.
Tobey Maguire.
Who's going to put out an album, by the way?
Wait, like a real album?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought that was a new thing you read in the Star magazine. No. Also, another Pussy Posse news: Tobey Maguire, aka Spider-Man, is putting out an album. Of sounds he makes with his mouth.
He wants to be like that guy from Police Academy. Except the only thing he can do is wail.
Can we please reboot Police Academy and have as what's his face as Michael Winslow, Tobey Maguire's Michael Winslow, and what's his face? Leo as Mahoney, and Jonah Hill as Bobcat Goldthwait as Zed.
Jonah Hill's are in what's his stupid face from the drumming movie?
Oh, Miles Teller.
Yeah, they're going to be in that movie.
The War Dogs.
The War Dogs, and Jonah Hill
got fat again.
Yeah, he did. Well, yeah, I mean, that happens to people. But I mean, like, he's just...
You think that was a choice, or was it just like, you know what? I'm better off this way?
Well, no, I think it's one of those things that once you've battled with your weight, probably your entire life, it's very, very hard to maintain a slimmer physique. So...
You know what? But he just looked weird then.
He did look a little weird then. But not
that's a bad thing.
No, it was fine.
But, I mean, you would see him...
Whatever he's doing is fine. I was actually just going to point out his slicked back hair. In that movie, which is to me the hallmark of the used car salesman. But that's kind of what that movie's about. So. Kind of. He needs like a really bad suit and like a gold chain.
Well, he
like,
kind of wears that.
Maybe
we should go see that movie and we can see that. It looks like an interesting movie.
I guess. I kind of don't like Miles Teller though.
So anyway, so they see this kid come out and he's got a box.
Okay, can I ask another question about this?
Okay.
So, if I'm to understand the Huntress's origin story, now it might not be this at this particular moment in time, but her dad was like a mafia guy.
Yeah, he was a mafia.
Right?
He was a mafia. Wasn't he a mafia bodyguard or something?
I don't know if he was a bodyguard, but he was.
Well, at least according to the mafia, to the origin in Justice League.
Yeah, I don't think he was a bodyguard. He was somebody important.
Or was he?
And there was.
Yeah.
She was put into a closet or whatever, and her parents were killed in front of her.
Oh no, what's his face? That's right, a mafia. No, he was somebody important, and then not Tobias Whale, the albino guy.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name.
Right. So, and I'm like, that might not be the exact origin story here, but if it is, like, why is she questioning Batman? Because she has been there too.
Who knows?
But anyway,
maybe it's different.
She needed something to say, I guess. They were like, she needs some lines. It's her own comic book, and Batman just won't shut his fucking gap.
Batman's just like, you know what? I know this.
Fuck you, shut up, talk.
They literally were like, I can't help. I can't draw the speech bubble towards her. I gotta put it towards him.
No, make the man say it. Mansplain.
So they see this kid, and they chase him down into the sewer.
Right.
And
Batman's just like, oh, clever boy. He sounds like that guy in Jurassic Park who's like gonna kill the raptor. He's like, clever boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And she's like, you sound like you admire him. He's like, admire your adversaries. This is a good thing.
Yeah, sure you do, because that's why you and the Joker make out.
Yeah, basically Batman's looking for another Robin. At this point, he's like, oh, this kid could be a Robin. He is smart.
He is smart. Would you like to jump? Because he's smart because he jumped into a pile of mattresses on his way down.
Right. He's like, what a smart child.
Because he lives in the sewer like the Ninja Turtles, apparently.
Yeah. This guy's a Ninja Turtle.
And then something happens where does he set off a bomb or something?
Yeah, he sets off. He knows that there's like a trap, like a trip line or something, and he sets it off. And the kid's like, why would I, She's like, oh, you could have killed us, whatever. Oh, the kid's name is James.
Yeah.
You could have killed us. He's like, why? I don't want to hurt you, and I wouldn't blow this up because this is my home. And you see that he's been living in the sewer, and he has like a box of instant oatmeal, and there's like peanut butter, and I think there's some Tang too.
Tang?
Yeah.
Where's the Tang?
Tang. It says Ang.
Ang.
They probably couldn't afford to get
It's Ang Lee. He's in the jar. Director Ang Lee.
Poor Ang Lee. Let him out. He's got to direct the Hulk. Or maybe they're keeping him in there so he doesn't direct the Hulk.
They're keeping him in there. They're going to let him out to do Brokeback Mountain to put him back in. It's like, all right, that's a good movie. Hey, get back in there.
And, like, Huntress all of a sudden feels bad for him. He's like, oh, man, this poor kid, like, whatever. And Batman's like, well, looks like you've been blowing shit up. Time to go to jail.
Then she goes back and she's remembering her past.
Right.
Also looking awful.
Yeah.
She looks like, how would I say this? She looks like an 80s mom, but not like a mom, like when you see like stock photos from the 80s of like people's families.
Yeah.
She looks like that.
Yeah.
It just looks weird.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know what?
The 80s was not a good time for anybody.
Especially not a good time. Well, the thing is, this is 1990.
I know.
So we're just getting out of it at this time.
Right.
And this was not a good year for her.
No, she looks terrible.
Yeah. So then anyway, so they're like, well, we gotta...
Yeah, Batman's like, I'm gonna take you in. That's it. You're going to jail.
Go right to jail.
And she's like, what? And he's like, well, this is your bomber. Once he's caught, then we can take down the gangs. And she's like, are you crazy? And he's like, what? What do you suggest that we do?
I like this picture here because she's hugging him. She's like, because he's like, we gotta take him in. And she's like, no. And he's like, well, what do you think we should do? And she's like, hugging him. And then he looks like Steve Urkel, kind of.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, did I do that? And she's just like, no, Steve Urkel, don't take it. And so, yeah, and that's it.
We gotta keep him coming over. We don't want him to go to the Winslow's house anymore.
Carl Winslow has had enough. I know him from the police force.
Yeah. I promised I'd take him in.
Yeah.
Before he becomes, what was his name? Stefan?
Stefan, no, don't let me go Stefan.
We don't want to go into the Stefan years. So we
just want to.
We gotta get rid of this.
We gotta put a cap on it. It's the first season. We gotta bottle this.
We gotta stop. People like this show now. If we keep going, no one will like this show.
So, that's it for this issue. We get her letters page, which is called Words of Prey, which I kind of think is silly.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, would you read the next issue of this series?
I feel like I have the next issue of this series.
You know what? You might. I don't know if you do.
But I have to say, this is one of those books where I'm just like, meh. Like, I kind of want to get rid of it now that we've done it for the show.
We don't need it.
I don't need it.
But here's the thing.
Also, the art is awful.
Yeah, it's not very good. Here's the thing, though. If we get the second issue, if it gets the next issue of this, it's the last issue of this series.
Oh, shit.
And I have a thing for having last issues.
I know. I might have the last issue.
So if we have it, we can just get rid of this one, and then whatever.
Oh,
so
man.
we gotta, because here's the thing, we gotta start getting rid of stuff to make room for other shitty books that we actually want to keep.
Of course.
Because we're still going along with it. We got plenty of stuff. We just need to, keep the collection lean.
We did a nice little purge.
We did this little purge, and I bought a bunch of Defenders comics to replace all those.
Yeah.
But that's important.
That's how we work.
Yeah. But that's it for the Huntress number 18 from September 1990. I probably would. I don't know if I would read it. next villain. I mean, I already know what happens.
Yeah.
Do you know what happens?
Batman keeps talking.
Batman probably does a lot more talking. And then at the end of this series, basically Huntress adopts this kid, and then they go off to, like, find another life. Doesn't legally adopt him, but she's kind of like, because she
does a Batman. She's just like, I'm going to take this child because I just want to hang out with children.
She just wants. She's like feels bad for him, and she's like, hey, look, you have a rough go, and like I'll help you out here because you know how to make bombs.
Batman collects children like a lot of people collect those Pop Funko vinyl figurines. So maybe Huntress wants to start her own collection.
Oh, do you think Batman goes to Comic-Con? He does. He's just looking for kids. He just puts them in boxes. He's like, boy. He's like, yeah,
they're all dressed differently. This is a different version.
I don't know. This one has a defect.
Makes it more valuable.
Oh, yeah. Alfred, make sure you keep this one in a
This
special...
one's emotionally devastated. Oh, man, most valuable.
We're going to keep this one in a special case, Alfred. Don't want to mess around with getting any dust on this one.
Nope.
We'll break it out when we need it.
Yep.
Hey, what up, peeps? It's Jessie Mae Peluso here to tell you about my podcast, The Sharp Tongue, heard each week right here on the Sideshow Network. Every episode is a slice of my life as a touring comedian, and I'm bringing you my favorite funny and interesting friends to talk about whatever is on our minds. I talk about road stories, I talk about horror movies, music, putting fingers in buttholes. Everything you ever want to talk about is right here. It's A Sharp Tongue with me, Jessie Mae Peluso, every week on iTunes and the Sideshow Network. Download, rate, and subscribe, and tell a friend to check us out, because we need validation. And by we, I mean me. I'm alone here in the studio.
All right, we're back here on Worst Collection Ever here on Sideshow Network. We'll get to our next book in a second. I just wanted to add to this Leo discussion.
You're really enjoying this headphone thing.
Well, here's the thing. So you ever see, like, they sell these things in, like, Sky Mall, I think, where it's, like, a pillow, but just it craps up your entire head?
Oh, yeah! Where you can, like, zip yourself into it so you can, like, sleep on the airplane?
Yes, but, like, you zip yourself into, like, this entire head cushion pillow.
Yeah, you can, like, zip it to, like, the tray or whatever.
So Leo needs one of those, but with built-in headset.
For his whale noises?
For his whale noises. For his Toby whale noises.
Yeah.
And he can just wear that. And then he can also maybe even sleep.
Oh boy!
Because
if there's one thing I want, it's for the dude I'm having sex with to sleep through the entire experience.
When else is he going to sleep? It's he's a busy man. He's Leo.
I guess.
He's for the record, I find this news about him having sex with women with headphones on very disturbing.
Well, it is because it's not actually sex; it's masturbating with another person's body. That's what it is. Because you're not engaging in an activity. You're just like, doing what your hand could do.
This is a very inquisitive day for me. Because not only do I have many questions about this arrangement, but I also have many questions about Patrick Clark on NXT.
I knew you were going to talk about this guy's tights.
Yes.
You're obsessed with these tights.
So if you watch NXT, there's this wrestler whose name is Patrick Clark, and he's been on a few times, and he has these tights that they're long tights, and he has them. They're airbrushed, so they're airbrushed. So he has the White House on his ass. He has an eagle on his left leg, and on his right leg, he has a picture of his face, like an airbrush picture of his face.
Yes.
And also, by mind you, he just for an added visual, he looks like Dennis Haysbert.
I don't know who that is.
From the guy that does the State Farm commercials.
Oh, okay, yeah, that guy.
So imagine Dennis Haysbert wearing pants with his own face on it. Touch his own face on it. But for some reason, his face has it, like on his right eye. There's a big like white stream just coming down off of it. Mm-hmm. And it looks like he's crying milk. Yeah, it does. It's really weird. It looks like a defect in the airbrushing. It looks like a defect in the airbrushing. Like if there's a run in the tights or something. Or, I don't know if it's supposed to be that way, which really sucks because if you went out of your way to get an airbrushed outfit like that, and yet they fucked it up so badly.
Yeah.
I feel really bad for him because, he's a wrestling NXT wrestler who he probably doesn't make a ton of money.
Right.
He's not making, Dolph Ziggler money. Where
Is Dolph Ziggler making a lot of Dolph Ziggler money?
Dolph Ziggler's doing probably all right.
Okay.
If Dolph Ziggler needs gear that looks good, that has his face airbrushed on, he's not going to get a defective one.
Okay.
And in this case, maybe he just, because you'd think he would get a refund. Just Patrick Clark. So I have a lot of questions about this. I tweeted him about this.
Okay.
So,
yes. Yeah. Well, I hope you get some info back.
I hope I get some info back on this. So I have, so it's a very wonder-filled day.
Oh, it is.
Here on Worst Collection Ever.
Yes.
So yeah. So I'm certain this book will invoke some wonder.
Oh, I'm sure.
We are doing Namor.
Namor.
Yeah,
Namor.
It's like Quasar and Quasar all over again.
Ugh.
Namor the Sub-Mariner.
Uh-huh.
This is the series from the 90s. So Namor the Sub-Mariner, number 8 from November 1990.
Yeah.
Oh, man, 2 books from the 90s. From 1990. I did not choose it this way.
Oh, shit.
But we are at turn of the century here.
Well.
This is right before shit got real.
Yeah. We're not turn of the century yet, but...
Or turn of the decade.
Yeah.
This is right before things got extreme.
Oh, they're getting extreme in this book.
Are they?
Well, there's some extreme boning in this book.
Oh, yeah, boning, yeah.
Without headphones.
Yeah. Namor doesn't wear headphones.
No fucking shit,
Namor's a real man.
Namor participates in his sex. It's not just something that is done to him, so he can enjoy an orgasm. While he listens to whatever whale noises.
He listens
which he probably would listen.
But he listens to real whale. If he wants to hear the whale make a noise, he goes right down by the whale and he's like, "Yo, talk to me."
Yeah, well,
and then they go, "Urgh," and then he goes, "Word, I'm hard." goes up to the surface and bones Sue Richards or whatever chick he's with.
So can I ask a question about this cover?
Well, okay, we'll talk about the cover here. Okay. So basically, we have. So this is the Namor. This is the John Byrne run. Uh-huh. So we're talking about something serious here. We're
a little highbrow for us.
Yeah, a little highbrow here. And this is when Namor was like head of a corporation at some point, I think, for the majority of this.
Sure, why not?
But we'll look at him. See, he's wearing a suit.
That was my question. Why is Namor in a suit?
Because he was the head of a corporation at the time. He was the head of some. He became the head of like some sort of thing. I don't really know. I read some of the details. It was confusing.
I want one of these superhero guys not to be like the head of a corporation or like a king. I want some guy to be just like low-level management. Like all he does is spreadsheets all day.
Yeah. Well, that was Red Tornado. He was a temp.
Yeah.
See, he was
Red Tornado.
He was the low-level management
pretty
guy.
Much like all the people who run all the corporations in the world also happen to be superheroes.
Yeah. So he's got his suit on here. He's got pocket squares.
I know, yeah.
What was his eyebrows like you said?
They look like Joan Crawford's eyebrows. Because they really are. They're just like that huge arch, like very thick. Yeah. So we have... I'm going to start screaming about wire hangers in a minute.
So we have on the cover, and it says, "Heads, I win." We have the Headhunter, or just it was Headhunter. And she's this albino girl, redhead girl. She looks like... She
looks like Tilda Swinton if Tilda Swinton was caught playing the Joker.
Tilda Swinton could have played this character instead of the ancient one.
Yeah, and she should have played this character. She looks exactly like Tilda Swinton in this.
So basically, here's the deal.
And she also looks like she has, like, razor fingers, but only, like, 2 of them.
She has 2, yeah. Her 2 fingers on her left hand have these gigantic, like, barbershop razors.
Yeah, so I'm going to assume, like, she's... like an 8th related to Edward Scissorhands.
Yes.
They're like very distant cousins.
She got some Edward Scissorhands. She comes with a long line of Scissorhands family.
Yeah.
And so basically she has this wall. So basically her power is that she can hypnotize people into doing her bidding.
And then she takes their heads off.
No.
No?
She hypnotizes them and then keeps them behind a wall and has her head stick out.
Oh, so those aren't just, they're actually people.
They're actually
so, like,
people.
It's kind of like...
It's a skull garden, as it's called.
Oh, so it's kind of like being in a drawer in the morgue.
Yeah.
Except your head's just hanging out, and she just, like, pulls you out when she needs you.
Right, and she has their heads...
feed these people?
Well, they're hypnoptized, so they don't need anything until she tells
their
them.
bodies need food still.
I don't know.
You can't hypnotize a stomach.
I don't know. Maybe she has that
Can
power.
you hypnotize a stomach?
Can you hypnotize a stomach? That sounds like something. That sounds like something like at like a. I just imagine that being like if they had like a amazing people like infomercial and it's like this man can hypnotize people and you just stand up and you just go question from the audience. Can you hypnotize a stomach?
Yeah.
So
I'm asking the important questions.
That's a good. Well, it's an important question.
I thought so.
Because also these people's heads are just sticking out. They're
like,
catatonic.
But that's the thing. If you're like laying on your
But if you're
stomach,
catatonic, if you're in a coma, like you don't eat. You know, you have some sort of.
No,
Maybe she has IVs.
I mean. They feed them through an IV.
Maybe she's got a bunch of IVs in the back.
So
now.
who's changing their waist? Is it like the Matrix back there? She also, by the way, she also looks like Lady Neo. Like if
it's all related. This is where the Wachowski brothers looked at us and said, "We're going to do this, but we're just going to kind of like
sort of. Yeah. Except we're gonna just make her Keanu Reeves instead of.
There's gonna be Keanu Reeves
instead of Trinity.
We're gonna keep the people having their waste expelled. We're gonna do the waste thing.
It's gonna be all people pods and shit.
People pods.
Because that's the thing. Like he can't be standing here because there's a head below him, so he has to be laying. But he has to be laying with his head head like this.
Yeah.
And that's very uncomfortable.
Well, she has to set up. She figured it out.
Yeah, but like when you need them to do something, doesn't their neck hurt?
I don't know. Maybe she has
can't do anything. Neck pain.
Maybe she gives them a massage.
What with her razor hands? Like shut up or I'll cut your head off. Anyway, too much time thinking about razor hands.
So we start with a prologue where some Nazi doctor. I don't
know if he's a Nazi doctor. We're assuming he is because it's Germany.
But it's Germany, but it's 1961, so we're like
Nazis were still alive back then, even if they weren't Nazis anymore.
Right. So basically, though, okay, so he's like an evil German doctor because you mentioned Strucker.
Yeah.
And Strucker is, not Hydra and shit.
Yeah.
So
they're trying to get out of East Germany before. Well, right now it's not East Germany. It's just.
It's Germany, but it's about to be split up.
It's about to be split up. So they're like trying to get this guy to do this thing, and he's like, "Hold on, I just have to make sure that my project, which is a woman of some sort, who we don't see, will survive through this in case we can't make it back." So he fixes that, and then they run out into the street, and then he gets shot by a communist or whatever. And they're like, "Quick, put him in the car, just in, hopefully we can revive him. He's the only one who knows how to work the machines." They drive into West Germany, and that's that.
Yeah.
And we never see those people again.
And I have no idea what happens after that.
Nope, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
So now we have... So the official title to the story is Never Bet the Devil Your Head.
Which is a dumb title.
Yes. And we have Namor, and he is recovering from some sort of battle.
Yeah, he's laying in a giant pile of filth.
Well, it's a pile of filth. In New York.
Is it a cradle of filth?
Oh.
Shit.
Cradle of Filth just performed and they just left it. It was like a
Is that
Guar
what
show.
happens? They just leave all this crap?
It was like a Guar show.
Yeah.
So apparently, in the issue before this, there was a giant shit waste monster called Sludge.
Yeah.
S-L-U-G.
J.
S-L-U-J.
And when I saw that J, I thought it was supposed to be a T.
I thought it was... No, me too.
Slut.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, slut monster. But no, it's Sludge.
Watch out for Slut.
Watch out for the slut monster.
Watch out for Slut. She's
coming to New York.
Coming. She's going to get all gooey on you.
Yeah. Or you wear headphones while he fucks you. So I guess Namor is like trying to save people from the shit monster, and like this woman is like, "Hey, Namor, I have this genetic thing that will basically eat its power and kill it from the inside or something."
Yeah, so go in there and like go
inject it with this. So he does, and it explodes all over the city, but it also eats his wings off his feet.
Apparently this genetic material that helped defeat this monster also ate his feet wings.
Yeah. So he almost dies because he jumps off a building without realizing he has no wings.
Yeah, he kind of like he falls, like he catches like a pole.
Yeah.
And then he just walks into like a boardroom.
Yeah, he like swings into a window and he's like, "What up?" And he's just wearing, Speedos.
Yeah. It's funny because everybody's looking at him and he's just like, they look at me. Ha ha.
I'm no longer a king, but I'm still Namor.
He just goes like, "Let all look upon who such an like." He's just all like, "Ha ha!"
Like, I'm just great, guy.
He's having a think. He's having a
like,
very.
I gotta go draw my eyebrows back on.
He's having a very arrogant think.
He really is.
Yeah, and his eyebrows look like fucking.
They're crazy eyebrows.
Colonel Sergeant Bowser from. Well, I'm making a very obscure another obscure.
Wrestling reference?
No, it's my blanket on Police Academy reference. When Bowser lost his eyebrows.
Yeah.
And they had to draw them back on, and he looks like
it just looks like he took a magic marker and just went like, these arches look good, but they're just like McDonald's arches.
McDonald's. Subtle advertising.
Yeah, so like outside the
I just fought a pile of shit. McDonald's.
This is what you will do once you eat McDonald's. So
we go back to the Central Park or Battery Park,
and they're like, no one's going to be alive in this nasty pile of shit. And Namorita is, and guess what? As she comes out of the shit, she still looks sexy.
Oh yeah, she's doing a sexy.
Yeah, she's doing a head toss. And, look at those tits. Even though she's covered in shit, but her wings didn't get eaten off.
No, actually, you're right.
Wings, yeah.
Yeah, wait, because she was kind of in a pod of some sort.
I don't know. She's like, help me. There's other people in these pods. There's like these separate pod things that are in the shit. I don't know. Yeah,
it's kind of gross because then they're like, let's rip up these pods and get some shit out. Yeah, so it's gross.
Yeah, so like Namor has finally made his way out of the boardroom and he's like, hey, cousin. And she's like, hey, my ass is to the viewer. ass. Namor's like, I'm just wearing Speedos. And then some guy who I guess was part of the people who gave him the genetic stuff. The scientist.
Yeah, some scientist is like, she's like, you know what? That was a lie, or some science stuff is a lie. I'm confused about what's going on here because apparently this was created out of like a human life form.
Yeah, I guess it was taken. It was 2 cells taken from that woman scientist, and then the other.
Yeah, it was like a human stew.
Yeah, there were 3 of them, and the one guy's talking, and then the other 2, I guess, donated their genetic material, and they were like, "Oh, we created a human," but they didn't really, because I guess their funding had been stripped, so they just said they did, so they could get more funding. But then, like, the head of the university took it to the press, way too soon, so they knew as soon as other scientists were going to step in and start peer reviewing their work that they'd find out that they're nowhere near as far as they said they'd be.
Right.
So they lured a crackhead into the laboratory.
This is fucked up. The comic books are fucked up.
And they were like, hey, will you trash our lab and like burn all our research? For drugs, and so
they flush this thing down the toilet.
And flush this gross thing down the toilet. Oh, and then the other scientist killed the crackhead.
Yeah, then the head of the
I'm like, what?
He killed the crackhead.
I know, but like, what? And so anyway, and then
since it was in the toilet, it became shit monster.
It became the shit monster, and they're like, and Namor's like, but that woman was she was burned by the chemicals, and he's like, she did that to herself because they figured if they saw that she had such horrible wounds, they wouldn't question what happened. But they're dead anyway because we found their bodies in the shit, even though we're not putting together 2 and 2, that these 2 people used their own genetic material to create this clone thing. So they probably have cloned themselves, or at least their bodies, to get away. That's my guess. That's not actually mentioned here, but it's a comic book, so let's go. That's probably right.
And then when he's like, okay, so he says something here like, no, blah blah blah. So apparently, I can safely say that the mutating factor had already worked to transform the sewage matrix into something else less toxic. And then he's like, well, I guess we don't have to like inoculate the city on hepatitis.
Yeah.
Namor says this, and I'm like, but there's shit everywhere.
Yeah.
It's because it's
just because it was like, you guys stopped it with that genetic thing doesn't mean it's literally raw sewage on the streets of New York. That Namor is not only has he been swimming in, he's walking barefoot through the streets of New York.
Oh, he's always barefoot.
Which, dude, get some flip flops.
Flippy floppers.
Get some flippy floppies.
Get some flippy floppers with some wings on them, and you'll be alright.
Because gross.
This reminds me of that joke.
I don't know what's worse, barefoot in the streets of New York or walking through raw sewage.
That's my favorite. One of my favorite jokes from. It reminds me of that joke from Naked Gun. I forget which one, but he's like Leslie Nielsen. He had like he had in order to infiltrate some base, he had to swim through some raw sewage, and then the bad guys catch him, and he's like, what the hell? Why do you smell so bad? He's like, I've been swimming in raw sewage. I love it. Because that was like a code word for somebody to come out. To come out, and he's like, I love it. so he should have. Yeah. So Namor's like, I love it. So Namor's friends show up.
Yeah, and it's like old guy and like chick he used to sleep with, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's like, Namor! And he's like, hey, how's it going? And then all of a sudden, the most 80s of women shows up. She's got that like kind of what's her name?
Susan Powder? Brigitte Nielsen, yeah.
Yeah, Brigitte Nielsen hair, but she's also wearing like that kind of like formal gown that's also like polyester. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
These 80s gowns with like
she's just like Madonna.
Yeah, she's dressed like Madonna, and so she's like, Namor, I need to talk to you because of the headhunter.
Right. So this is Phoebe Mars. Phoebe Mars is like her brother. I forget what her brother's name is, but basically they're like these evil business people who are trying to manipulate Namor into doing stuff for them. And the plan right now is for her to seduce him.
Right. So she's like, help me, and he's like, all right, well, Namorita, why don't you talk to my good friend, old man, and chick I used to fuck, and I'll hang out with Madonna.
Did he used to fuck her?
There's a romantic relationship reference later.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna guess yes.
Oh,
so
whale sounds doing good.
Yeah, so he like walks away, and Namorita's like, why isn't he flying? And then she notices he has no wings. And she gets upset.
I ain't got no flying shoes.
So then we're in a car, like a town car.
Oh, yeah.
And Namor and Madonna chick.
It's the 90s.
She's like, oh, Namor, I didn't know. Well, you gotta go back.
Oh.
She's like, Namor, oh, please help me. I'm so happy. And then just like...
Yeah, my brother's missing. You need to help me. Tongue.
Yeah, tongue. And then like, you turn... There's obvious tonguing on this page. And then you turn the first narration box there says... Discretion says we must turn away. And you're like, oh.
What do you mean? Well, thanks,
shit.
John Byrne.
Okay, all right. So
whatever, John Byrne.
Namor's fucking that lady in the back of a car.
Namor's getting down.
No headphones, I'm assuming.
Namor's a man.
And then I have no idea what...
He's a man, and he's also a mutant fish man.
Yeah, and then there's this part which I was like, who, what?
So this is Colleen Wing and Misty Knight, and basically they are here to...
One of them's drinking hard.
Yeah. And they're day drinking. And they're private investigators, and they used to be associated with like the Heroes for Hire, so like Cage and Iron Fist, and we start. I don't know what they're just trying to get their shit together.
One of them is really sad because I guess somebody's dead.
Yeah, because Danny's dead. Iron Fist is dead.
Yeah, and they're like, oh well, you need to stop drinking and get with it. And then the TV comes on, and they're like, we're going live to these headquarters. As we know, Daniel
Rand
was killed, we think, by Luke Cage.
Yeah.
So-and-so has an announcement.
By mercenary and sometimes superhero Luke Cage. By some months back, that was like 4 years ago. He died. The last issue of Power Man Iron Fist was 1986. This is 1990.
Yeah, well.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's a long
time.
Get
your time straight. John Byrne.
Oh, well, maybe he showed up in this series earlier. I don't know. We're only on issue 8, so it couldn't have been that long ago.
Too much going on.
So then, like, the reporter's like, now, going live to this lady, and she's like, hi, I'm here at this RM...
Rand Meacham. That's the name of the company.
Sure.
Because there's corporate shit going on in this book.
Here's some corporate shit. This guy has an announcement, and this guy's like, "Hi, it's me, and I'd like to."
It's me, Mario.
I'm an important corporate guy, and I'd like to introduce you to
Danny Rand. He's back.
Oh my god, he's alive!
And he's like, "Thumbs up, I'm alive."
I'm the blondest of men.
And spoiler alert, it's a Skrull. So it's not really him.
It's a what?
It's a super Skrull.
Oh, I thought you said squirrel.
It's a squirrel. It's squirrel. It's actually Squirrel Girl.
It's a bunch of squirrels inside of a man suit.
It's an anthropomorphic man suit. It's like what's his face? Vincent Adult Man.
Adult Man on BoJack Horseman.
But he's filled with squirrels.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I miss Vincent Adult Man.
I do too. He wasn't in season 3, and that was sad.
No, it's a great show, but
maybe that's why Enchantress was like dancing all the time.
Because she was filled with
squirrels, and they were just all trying to go in different directions. Like, let me out of here!
I'm reminded now of the rest of one of my wrestling sleaze list things where Sid Vicious, the wrestler, once put a squirrel in his pants on a dare.
No.
And it bit his dick.
Good. Don't put squirrels and don't put wildlife in your pants.
Don't put wildlife in your pants. The Jen Stansfield story.
That's one of my rules, guys.
You gotta have rules.
Don't put wildlife in your pants, and if you get bit in the dick, you deserve it. So I hope he got a weird infection.
Well, he's Sid.
Is he dead?
No, he's alive. He's the guy that broke his leg. Remember? Remember we were like, it was like the injury, wrestling injury, and he did a jump and he broke his leg?
Yeah, but it wasn't like the gymnast at the Olympics who broke his leg in like a great...
It was.
Oh, I hate those.
It was one of those ones where it was hanging, kind of like his...
It's an extra bend in your leg.
Like his boot was hanging.
No.
And you're like, that's not supposed to happen.
No, that's not supposed to happen. That's horrifying.
Yep, poor Sid.
Yeah, poor Sid.
He got his dick bit by a squirrel and he broke his leg.
Well, he deserved the dick
all
bite.
the same day.
He deserved the dick bite.
At the same time. He went, ow, my leg! Ow, my dick! That was a weird pay-per-view. Like, why is he breaking his leg? Why is he got a
squirrel out of his pants?
Why is he got a squirrel out of his pants? What's wrestling?
I ask that question all the time.
What's wrestling?
What's wrestling?
That would be the name of our show. If we had a show on WWE. Like, what's wrestling?
That's what it would be.
Did you put a squirrel on your pants, Sid? Okay, great. We're moving on.
Yeah. We could have animated sketches.
Oh, I would just have... Look, there's a...
Can we pitch this to the WWE Network?
You can't pitch anything to the WWE Network. Nobody wants to hear anything from anybody like us.
Oh, that's too bad.
They're just busy doing things like...
We'd be the best show... We'd be so much better than that stupid edgy Christian show. Or Camp WWE that were like swung wildly from like just a weird TV show to like really, really gross.
It was like, hey, here's a cartoon. And then the next episode was like, hey, here's lots of swearing and shit jokes.
Right, and like for me, I don't care about swearing, but it was just so off tone with like the first episode they put out.
It caught me off guard.
That's because it didn't match the tone of the first episode that they put out.
Because you're just like watching it and then
it's supposed to have a consistent tone all the way through.
And then all of a sudden Steve Austin, they're
that's
like...
how a story works, that's how a TV show works.
And they're like, fuck! I'm like, whoa!
You're like, whoa, where'd that come from? What the fuck? This tone is not consistent. And that's why it caught you off guard, because it didn't make sense. Anyway. Namor. So...
How did we get to talking about squirrel? Oh,
squirrel.
Right.
Because that guy's full of squirrels. So
I was trying to really remember, like, how did we get to this point?
That's pretty much our entire podcast. Or our entire relationship, really. Like, every time we have a conversation. Like, how did we end up here? Namorina goes home with old guy and chick that Namor used to have sex with. And she plants her bare or swimsuit-clad ass that's been covered in shit on their furniture.
No, she probably took a shower.
I hope so. Gross. So, like, this woman having a talk with her dad about how she still loves Namor.
She's touching her dad's dick.
Oh, no.
Like,
she even says, like, I used to love him, like, our relationship is over. It's this big romantic thing.
Yeah.
So obviously she also used to have the sex with Namor, and she feels weird about Namor running off with that chick to have sex in a car.
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's it. That's the entire conversation.
So basically, then we go to Namor, and
he's done having sex.
He's done having sex. They get to this building that where the headhunter lives or whatever.
Yeah. And apparently, she has her very own like weird glass elevator in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so he's like, "Well, I'm going to fly up there." He's like, "Oh wait, I can't.
Can't fly."
Sucks.
Shit. So
he takes the giant glass elevator in the random street.
Yeah, wearing nothing but Speedos. Takes the elevator, goes up to meet the headhunter.
Well, it's funny because Phoebe's looking at him, and he's like, "Oh man, he's so embarrassed." He's embarrassed like a little boy, and he's like, "Ha ha!"
Yeah, he doesn't look embarrassed. He looks cocky.
He looks like he's like, "Oh, I'm still gonna fight." He just had sex.
Yeah,
he just had sex.
It's basically that Lonely Island video. is what's going on through Namor's head right now. So they get up to the top, and they run into Tilda Swinton.
Tilda Swinton in the red outfit.
And she's like, "Oh, hello." What does she call him?
She calls him Submariner.
And he's like, "Submariner." She's like, "Whatever."
And she's like, "Well, look, I know about you. You don't know anything about me."
She's like, "You're in the Matrix."
You're in the Matrix. Take a blue pill. Oh, real quick here. Did you read this soapbox at all?
No, I didn't.
So in this little deal here, they have this whole, they have a soapbox, Stan soapbox.
Uh-huh.
I don't read anything. I don't care what Stan has to say.
No.
And then they have like the thing from the editor, and they're like, blah blah blah. Here's a bunch of stuff that's going on in Marvel.
Yeah.
And they have this joke. We have this thing here where they're talking about a new Deathlock book that's about to come out.
Okay.
I think it's the miniseries around this time, and they're talking about Dwayne McDuffie and Bob Budiansky. R.I.P. Dwayne McDuffie. I think.
R.I.P.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Such a bummer.
It is a huge bummer because he went in to have like heart surgery or something. And,
no, he had like a heart problem or something.
Right, and didn't he have to have surgery or something? And then like got out of the hospital and he died shortly after or something. It was just such a bummer. Anyway.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
So. Yeah, okay, so it's the Deathlock miniseries. and they're like, oh yeah, and he's also concentrating his move to DC. That's Washington, DC, not DC Comics. Oh, that's a good one. Haha. Right? And then it goes through the rest of this, right?
Uh-huh.
But then if you keep reading the list of the issues that come out this month, which, by the way, there's some shit in Marvel here. Let's talk about here. So we got Camp Candy number 7.
What the fuck is that?
So
is that like Camp WWE?
No, kind of, but it was on NBC. Do you remember Camp Candy?
Wait, with John Candy?
Yeah, John Candy had a cartoon series.
Yes, I do remember that now.
So they did a comic book of that.
Oh, why?
I don't know.
Okay,
for kids.
All right.
I don't know who bought it.
R.I.P. John Candy.
R.I.P. John. R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. everybody ever. Jesus. This is
2016. Bets are off.
He didn't just die yet. He died many years ago.
I realize that. John Candy was actually the first celebrity that died that I remember dying.
Really?
Yes.
Wait, you were like that was like 1995.
Well, you know,
you didn't remember any of the celebrities dying between then and you didn't remember
Wait, did Kurt Cobain die before him?
Maybe.
If that, yeah, then I remember. I think he died. No,
I should probably. I
don't remember.
You don't remember? Oh God! Like Dean. I remember Dean Martin dying.
No, I don't remember Dean Martin dying. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't pay much attention. My parents were going to be like, Jen, guess what celebrity died?
Yeah, Jen. He come over to school. Jen, guess what celebrity died?
No, my parents.
You'll never get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to stay away from that sort of, like, the news and shit. I don't remember when I was a child. I led a very sheltered life. I lived in the flyover in a goddamn suburb, and everything was the same.
No.
Every single day.
I didn't have that much going on for me either. We had,
Yeah, but you know,
Falls in your mind, that was it.
I know, but you know what? I've said this before, and I know it makes no sense, but I always feel like you had a more authentic childhood than I did. I had, like, the most white bread, boring childhood that anybody could possibly have, because I lived in a fucking suburb in tract housing where everybody looks exactly the same, everybody drives the same fucking car, and there's only 4 styles of houses on your street. Because that's what happens when you grow up in a suburb in the flyover.
Yeah.
And, like, there's only, like, 5 chain restaurants and, like, 2 grocery stores, and everything is the same.
I grew up in a suburb, but it was more of, like, it was right outside the city.
Exactly.
So I had...
And you also had... It was also back east, so there was some small businesses. There might be, like, unique restaurants.
Yeah, that's true.
I grew up in one of those developments that only started getting built in, like, 1982.
Okay. Yeah, no,
So, it's one of those.
Not Cheektowaga.
No, it's not like, oh, this has been around forever. It's just like, oh, yeah, no, the only thing that's been here was, like, a field and, like, a whorehouse.
Well, that's right. You showed me the whorehouse.
Well, there's only a little bit of it left.
It's not active, guys.
It's not active, but there's only a little bit of it left. It's called the 100 Mile House. But, yes.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I mean, I never... It was a very boring childhood.
Yeah.
So I never paid attention to much.
You didn't know. So you didn't have TV to keep you company?
I did, but I never paid attention to celebrities dying. I was too busy.
Oh, I'm the kind of guy that likes to read Wikipedia and be like, hey, when did this guy die?
Right,
and then I like to, or when did this person die? How'd they die? Sometimes I'll go back and read some of my favorites.
Oh, see, Kurt Cobain did die in 1994, and I remember that very.
So when did John Candy die?
I'm gonna look.
I want to say 95, maybe even earlier than that.
I feel like it was earlier. John Candy.
Man, I'm trying to see. No, I'm trying to.
Oh no, he also died in 1994, a couple of months before Kurt Cobain.
Okay.
So yeah, I was about 14.
I mean, shit. Like, oh god, there's people.
I remember the Iraq War. Like when that started. That started before these two died. I remember that. I remember the Challenger blowing up.
Well,
so I remember like big things like that, but I don't remember like random celebrities kicking it until John Candy.
See, now I'm trying to struggle for other celebrities that died.
Like big deal celebrities?
Or just other people, celebrities. Yeah, like...
Is there a list of like really popular celebrities that died in the 80s? Is that something I can Google?
Like Lucille Ball died in the 80s.
Yeah, no, my parents were not Lucille Ball fans.
Well, my mom.
Oh, yeah, I can understand
Rick Nelson died in the 80s.
Again, not a huge Rick Nelson fan, my parents. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Shit, that girl
Elvis had already died.
Elvis already died.
So
Did that girl from the Poltergeist movie, she died?
Yeah.
See, you remember that?
No.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to Google really popular movie stars that died.
All right, while you do that, I'll go through the rest of this list here
Okay.
because... So what else we have that came out? We had Heathcliff comics still. Remember Heathcliff?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Heathcliff had that at number 43. That's a long time. That's like 4 years of comics.
That is a long time.
Also, this is the debut month of Barbie and Barbie Fashion.
What, the comic book?
The comic books.
Oh.
And it's great because it's like, comics will never be the same. Like, that was a little tag in here. But anyway, so as you go through this, right, and you see a bunch of all these books coming out. Yeah, RoboCop had a series. Wow. But then you get to the second column here, and he starts, like, laughing about, you see, like, ho, 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 Washington, D.C., that's a good one. And it just keeps kind of remembering that joke he told.
Uh-huh.
Hollywood Superstars number 3. What the fuck was that?
I don't know what that is. Can we find it?
Count Duckula number 14? Do you ever Count Duckula?
Yes, I do.
I gotta find some of these. WCW had a Marvel comic series.
I know, I remember. Okay, I remember Ryan White dying.
Okay, I was asking about Ryan White.
Yes, I remember him dying very clearly.
Yeah.
That was in 1990.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember him dying.
Yeah,
I didn't count him as like
a candle in the wind and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't count him as that wasn't for him.
It wasn't for him, but what's his face showed up and was like candle in the wind.
Yeah.
Elton John.
Yeah, no, but I remember. I very vividly remember him seeing his face on the cover of magazines while standing in line with my parents because he was like my age.
Because he's our age.
Yeah, he was our age, and he died so soon. I remember him dying, but I didn't count him as a celebrity.
Well, yeah.
I'm talking like movie stars and shit.
But it was, it was a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know. Who do you remember dying first?
Dean Martin?
Yeah.
No, it's gotta be somebody else.
Tweet at me and tell me like how old you are and when the first celebrity you remember dying.
I'm gonna be thinking about this. I'm gonna start doing. I'm thinking. I remember.
I'm just surprised that you're like so shocked that I don't remember anybody dying before John Candy.
That's a long time to be living, and not some of those celebrities dead.
But not at least celebrities that I knew of or paid attention to.
I paid attention to every celebrity.
I noticed. I don't. I once spoke on the phone with Jon Favreau, and Favreau, He called once when I was doing a temp gig at some accounting agency when we first moved here. No idea who he was.
What, you didn't recognize his voice, or you knew who he was, though? As an actor and a director, right?
Once I didn't realize it when he told me what his name was. I was just like, oh, okay, I'll put you through, sir. Like, just normal.
You didn't know Jon Favreau when you got here?
No, I know who he was, but I don't know. Usually, like, it's not at the front of my mind that I would know that was him.
If Jon Favreau called me and I was working in that position, I'd be like, holy shit, Jon Favreau from Swingers. Word.
No.
I knew Eric LaSalle when he walked in.
If he had walked in, I would have known who he was. I didn't know who the fuck he was.
I worked at WWE Studios. I recognize Eric LaSalle.
I know. But I don't recognize...
From Coming to America and ER.
I barely keep track of famous people's names. That's like when I listen to We Hate Movies and they like list off like, oh, that guy was in this movie. I'm like, I don't know. You gotta tell me what he looks like.
Oh, I recognize all that. I don't recognize, actually, to be honest,
names.
I kind of need to see faces.
Well, that's the thing.
So,
I need to see faces. I'll be like, that guy. And then I have to actively look at that person's name. So like Jon Favreau, I'd have been, if
Jon Favreau's too current. He's really current, though. He's been current for like a while.
Yeah, but I don't fucking know his name. Like
he directed Iron Man.
Yeah, I know that now. But when he called, I was just like, "Oh, okay, sir, let me put you through." Oh, I'm sorry, he's not available. So can I take a message?
Johnny Fav.
So I did, and then like one of the ladies from the back came running up, and she's like, "Oh my god, did you just talk to him?" I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "I have to call him back." And I was like, "What?" And then I googled him, and then I found out he was a very, very big shot that I just took a message for instead of like, I don't know, sucking dick. I don't know what I was supposed to do.
Well, I mean, were you supposed to?
I guess I was always supposed to find a live person, but I was not told that.
I mean, if he didn't push, I probably would.
Oh no, he was very nice, actually. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. He seemed actually kind of amused that somebody didn't know who he was.
I'd love to meet Jon Favreau.
Yeah, that'd be great.
He's a good dude.
Like I said, he seemed like a really nice guy when I talked to him for a whole 2 seconds on the phone.
Seems like a guy who would enjoy a good cheeseburger. Well, we saw that movie with the chef movie.
That's right.
Which, not that good of a movie. I'm sorry.
No, it was
I had some problems with it.
No, I thought it was going to be different. I think that's why I had problems with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine or whatever, but...
So anyways, he did just a bunch of fucking jokes. It's stupid. Anyway, so we get to the end. So we're almost at the end of the book here. Thank God.
Yep.
we're almost an hour and a half in to this show. How do you guys deal with this?
Because we talk about celebrities that died in the 80s, apparently. The Jen doesn't remember. Anyway...
it's funny because I bring up a lot of stuff and I'm like, do you remember this? And like, you do, but then there's a lot of stuff you don't.
Oh yeah, no, I know. See, a lot of times you have to, like, you can give me the name of something, I'll be like, I don't know what that is. And then if you describe it to me, I'll be like, oh, I know what you're talking about. Because again, I'm not very good with the names of people or things. But give me a description of the plot and I'll tell you if I've seen it or not.
So, Headhunter, Tilda Swinton, is like, she's basically she wants, so Phoebe wants to get her brother back, and there's no hidden, and so basically she's like, well, since I guess Phoebe whiffed on whatever deal they had, so she consummated this deal, and she opens up the door, and apparently she already has mounted her brother's head to her wall of her people pod.
Her people pod wall.
People pod wall. And she's like, no. And then next issue, Skull Orchard.
Yeah.
Basically what happens after this is that she tries to do her hypnotizing deal to Namor, but apparently it doesn't work on mutants. Because Namor's a mutant.
Right.
And he's able to defeat her.
Gotcha. So can I bring something up?
No.
You told me I didn't remember that Poltergeist actress getting murdered. She died in 1982.
No, she didn't. Not that one.
Wait, the 22-year-old who got murdered?
I'm talking about the little girl.
Oh no, I was talking about the one who. Because I'm like, she died in 1982. You can't hold that against me.
I'm not.
I was 2.
I'm talking about Heather O'Rourke.
Oh no,
O'Rourke.
All right, I'm looking at this site. I do remember the Menendez brothers, but again, I don't count them as famous people.
Oh, you looking at a list? Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's go through.
Rock Hudson? No.
Oh, you don't remember Rock Hudson dying?
I was 5. No, I don't.
Liberace?
I
don't remember Liberace dying. Okay.
No.
Famous Destinies. Who's that? Is that Vince Neil? Vince Neil died?
No, he's still alive.
Who was that?
You don't...
Oh, was that about the car accident where he killed the guy from Hanoi Rocks? I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember the... didn't he, like, go talk to the guy he, like, paralyzed? Was that
No,
him?
that was Leif Garrett.
Oh, that's right, okay.
He didn't kill... No, he didn't go talk to the guy. No, Vince Neil killed that dude.
No, this is just where people died.
R.I.P. Hanoi Rocks.
I don't even know. Tim Harden. He died in 1980. I don't remember that. Okay, yay. Wikipedia.
Oh, 1980s deaths.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Go back. Go to. Oh, there's a lot of people died. There's a lot of names there, babe.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't go 1980. I don't remember that. You can't expect me to remember that. I was a baby.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't yell.
If you go to
at me
80, go to 85 or 86.
All right, 86. We'll go 86.
Okay, I
don't know any of these people.
There's a lot of names. Keep going.
I'm going. Nope. I'm sure this is very interesting for all the people listening. I don't know any of these people.
A lot of losers died in the 80s.
A lot of losers died.
A lot of people I don't know. How am I supposed to... Arne Anderson! But he spelled it differently.
He was a footballer.
Arne Anderson with an E.
V.C. Andrews died. I didn't know that.
R.I.P. Arne Anderson.
See, I didn't know any of these people died. So you can't...
Oh, Desi Arnaz. That's where he died. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Oh, man.
Again, my parents were not into Lucy, like your parents were. My parents don't have a lot of, like, favorite people that they love.
Oh.
Like,
do they like you?
No.
Oh.
No, not really.
Oh, that's just the age. You know what? Forget it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people who fucking died. I don't remember anything.
I might be going through that, though. I might be doing death hunting.
All right.
On Wikipedia.
Because, like, okay, like, here's the thing. The only way I would know if a celebrity died when I was a child is if my parents were really into them. My parents were not that into celebrities, so unless it was like Magnum P.I., I would not have known. My mom liked Magnum P.I.
R.I.P. Magnum P.I.
That's the only time I would have known.
R.I.P. Tom Selleck's mustache.
Yeah. If it was Tom Selleck, I would have heard about it because my mom would have been sad.
Tom Selleck's in his 70s, and he
looks great.
He's still the most handsome man
he's
ever.
A very handsome man. So, yeah, like, if he had died when I was a kid, I would have heard about it. But that's really...
No, he did not die.
I know he didn't.
He went on to make sequels for 3 Men and a Baby.
I am aware that he is still alive.
Do you remember in 3 Men and a Baby that there was a...
Yes.
What?
What, that there was supposedly a ghost in the background?
Yeah, a ghost child.
It's not a ghost child.
I know it's not a ghost child.
It's a cardboard cutout.
Well,
But they didn't move.
But in the 90s, the papers were abuzz with paranormal activity because of that movie. Oh, let me tell you, Buffalo newspapers were like, holy shit, ghosts are in that movie.
It's just a cardboard cutout somebody forgot to move out of the way when they were shooting. It's all it is.
Oh, it was like the top of the news. In Buffalo, Jesus Christ, we got nothing going on. They're like, ghosts are in movies, guys. Watch out.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, well, that's it for Namor.
Would you read the next issue of Namor?
You know what? I was thinking about it. I think I might.
All right.
I think I might hunt down, because they have collected issues of the Burn Run in trade paperback. So I don't know. I've been looking for some interesting Namor. I don't know why. I just sometimes, like, there's some books that I'm just like, I don't like getting them particularly, but I just want to find a good one.
Right.
And I feel like this is one of them. So I might...
that's good.
Maybe I might not read this next issue, but I might want to read another issue of this at some point. Would you?
Maybe. I feel like we've read him on the show before.
No, we did The Sub-Mariner. That's from the 70s.
Yes,
that had Bruce the Hate Crazed Fool. You remember that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You remember that? Yeah. That wasn't in the 80s.
No,
that was the one that started off with a quote from Hitler.
Yes, that is correct.
There was so much Hitler stuff.
That's right.
In that book.
And there were even, like, advertisements for Hitler memorabilia.
For Nazi stores. Oh my God. And then that one guy's like, hey, let's go watch wrestling. That's a book.
That is a book.
And it's also a last issue, so I'm very excited I own it.
Yeah, that one was fun.
We're not getting rid of that one.
No. I mean, yeah, I might read him again. It's fine.
So that's Namor.
Super corporate Namor.
Super corporate. Rupert Murdoch is Namor.
Pretty much.
So that's Namor number 8 from November 1990. That's it for this week's show. Finally, after Jesus Christ.
2.5
I hope you
hours.
enjoy it, guys.
9 million hours.
I really hope
We're
you enjoy
getting
this.
Gilmore Guys length. Are you kidding? Like, those are 3-hour podcasts, and I'm not even
We
exaggerating.
could go 3 hours, guys.
I know we could.
We could.
we have restraint.
If you, this is what happens when we're home. Because
exactly, because we don't have to worry about it.
yeah, nobody's telling that we don't feel like we need to leave. We don't have to go feed a meter. Go all out, which in some ways is good, some ways is bad. So that's it for this week's show, though. Please join us on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Angry Hero Shawn, SHAWN is how you spell it. My Tumblr is theangryhero.tumblr.com.
And I'm at Jen Stansfield on Twitter and Instagram, jenstansfield.tumblr.com, and jenstansfield.wordpress.com, where I am now reviewing, oh, this is exciting, The OC. Done with the Gilmore Girls, no more Gilmore.
Well, at least until the new ones come out.
And at least till the new ones. And now I'm moving over to The OC, which I'm considering a prequel to Gotham. So it's a pre-prequel.
Oh, yeah.
Because Ben McKenzie's in that, too.
That's right. They're at the Boston Comic Con this weekend, too.
Oh, yeah.
They had a spotlight on Ben McKenzie.
Yeah, did anybody ask him what it was like to play a 16-year-old when he was literally 25?
Oh, wait, there's
He's
a lot of...
older than we are.
Yes.
And not by much, but he's
There are
older
many
than us.
questions
And
to
he
be...
was playing a 16-year-old in 2003. I was like, dude, really?
We have... I'm not as big of a fan of the Batmans and the OCs as you are.
I'm not. I've never seen The OC.
You just watched it!
No, I've only watched 2 episodes.
But I don't have a vested interest in any of those things that Ben McKenzie has done, yet I have many questions for him. So...
Is it about his, when he was trying to play Clayface as Jim Gordon?
Yes.
Are they all related to that?
Actually, it's all that. Everything is related to that. I want to be like, forget that hoe, was that improvised? Because you said that on TV. I remember. I saw it.
In like a really weird way, too. You're like,
Forget that hoe.
yeah, forget that hoe. You're like, what? He was like talking out of the side of his mouth. It was really weird.
Hey, I'm Jim Gordon, and I'm
That's just
not Clayface. I'm Jim Gordon, and
that's just
I'm gonna eat everything, and I'm okay.
Ben-
Harvey, what?
Your impression is just Vince McMahon as Jim Gordon.
You know what? I'm on board with that. When Vince McMahon dies,
That's going to be a dark day.
Ben McKenzie needs to play Jim Gordon, either him or Treat Williams,
Okay.
who is a character very established actor as well.
Okay.
So I have my casting already done for the Vince McMahon movie. Go work on that.
Do you think there will ever be a Vince McMahon movie?
Yes.
Oh,
When he dies,
we're going to have to go see it, aren't we?
well, it's not going to be released in theaters. It is not. No.
Direct to the WWE network.
Either that or it's going direct to. It's not even getting a DVD release.
Direct VOD.
Direct to garbage.
They're like, all right, that's a wrap, and they just toss everything in the dumpster.
We're not
on fire.
Nobody will ever see this.
They're like, good job, crew.
Good job, guys.
Gather around this dumpster for warmth.
Direct to garbage. The Vince McMahon movie coming soon. All right, well, that's it for this week's show. Please rate us on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review if you think we deserve it. Leave a review. Tell a friend. And also check out SideshowNetwork.tv and check out all the fine podcasts here on our network. We really appreciate you guys kicking it with us. So we will see you guys again next week.
Bye.